had a great idea. They said, why don't you do a tier list of chairs? And I love ranking the mundane, things that most of us have some familiarity with, some relatability to. And I was blessed to find a tier list that has quite a lot of options, honestly, like quite a lot. I'm eager to give it a go. Now, what do I like in a chair? Sittability ranks pretty high. Stability ranks quite high. Not tipping over, for example. And comfort for the most part. I'm not really gonna rank these like interior design style, like which of these would look nicest in our house or something like that. It's more like something to sit on. Like if I went to a dentist's office and they had this chair, if I worked in an office and this was my chair, if I went to a restaurant and this was my chair, how would I feel? So let's start there. Now, I sit in a Herman Miller, and I'll tell you, there's one chair I peeped closer to the bottom of the list. This boy right here. Whoo! That's a nice chair. That's a chair I like the look of for sure. But apart from that, I'm not a fancy chair guy. I know we were talking about Scandinavian art, interior design. I enjoy the look of those more than I enjoy the feel of the chairs, to be honest. So like this chair right here, this one, and hang on, there's more examples. This one, I promise you, there's more examples. Where are they? You know what I'm talking about. This is like what I was going to say is this reminds me of like when I have an appointment with my accountant and I get there 10 minutes early because I'm like a habitual early person, believe it or not. And then they're like, yeah, just take a seat anywhere. And then there's like one chair that looks like this, and like one chair that looks like this, one chair that looks like this, and one chair that looks like this. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I don't even know I just feel like I'm not comfortable here. Also, I don't know. Is this an ottoman or is this a table? I'm not 100% sure. Either way, this for me, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but I would throw it into the D tier here. It's certainly not it's not my ideal sitting situation. Now, what on earth is this? This is like a wooden deck chair? It's a chair made out of straw. It looks like a chair made out of packing tape. So this is like a piece of furniture you might find outside on someone's patio, maybe. I have no strong feelings about this chair, except I don't enjoy the look of it, and it doesn't look satisfying to sit in. It looks frail to me. I'm throwing it in the E tier, and I mean, I'm willing to accept debate there, but it looks like something that doesn't appeal to me. At least looks like it could be a nice accent in a house or something like that. You can lounge a little bit. This one, you got to stay alert the whole time. If it gets wet, it will mold. I don't respect it. I also don't respect this chair. I mean, we're starting a little bit sussed here. This chair just, I don't even know. This looks like it's from a B-52's music video or something. It looks like a folded piece of bubble gum. That's Art Deco. No. Listen here. You're trying to find some holes in my argument. This is Art Deco. Look at this sexy thing right here. If you tell me that's mid-century, I got to go back to the interior design tier list. I got to rework it a little bit. That's Art Deco to me. That's mid-century modern? No! Hey, whatever. Listen, no one ever accused me of being consistent in my interior design takes, okay? This, it looks like something that you would sit on in the 1970s, and like it's right after you smoked a drug, and then you would like fall asleep, and Andy Warhol would take your photo and you'd wake up famous. This does not look like, it doesn't look comfortable. I think you could only relax in it if you were under the influence of something illegal. But it gets worse. So I'm giving it an E for sure. Now, this is a bicycle seat with like a bowl on the bottom. I mean, this is a joke. That's definitely in the F tier. You've heard of a unicycle? This is a non-cycle. No one would ever say like, "Oh, that bike seat is so comfortable." Now, this is a classic. Everybody that has a kid in recreational sports owns one of these. Anyone that's ever been camping, anyone that's been to a big barbecue. You know what? Can I say I've railed on this before? Everything, and I understand in the modern era, people don't necessarily live in huge houses, especially millennials, Gen Z. We're more comfortable with smaller spaces. I understand that everything you buy now is like, and it also folds up into a compact carrying case. But then catch me trying to fold up my daughter's tricycle. There's literally like 1 millimeter of clearance. If you end up not folding it in exactly the right way, you can't get the zipper over the damn thing. It takes me like 20 minutes to put it back in the closet. This thing, all you do is go like bunk, zoop, and then it just slides right in the tube. They did a great, they don't make them like that anymore, man. Now there is a problem with this. I'm praising it. It's easy to set up. It's functional. It does the trick. Now, what are the net negatives? If you don't sit in it for an hour, but it's unfolded on a hot summer day, shit is gonna burn the bejesus out of you when you sit back down. A cool gust of wind can knock it over. Those are the two big ones. It is not a very stable chair, but you're not really buying it to be like it's a stable chair. You're buying it so you have something to sit on at your campsite or something like that. So I'd be inclined to throw this in the C tier. And we got like 7 tiers, so that's like right on the midline as far as I'm concerned. I'm okay with this. Cup holder's nice too. But if I'm being honest with you, the high school gym folding chair, I'm putting it up. I'm not gonna put it in S, but I don't think you could persuade me to put it below A. Yes, the church basement folding chair. This thing is stable as fuck. If you fall off of this chair or if it falls over, it's because you wanted to fall over. You were horsing around, and we don't respect that. It hurts your back. Okay, it does hurt your back a little bit. Sorry, I just go up here a little. It does hurt your back a little bit because there's all this open space, and then like this ends up digging into like just below your shoulder blades. It's a prison chair. I don't know, man. I like it. I'm ranking it high for stability, and it also doubles as a way to show off your masculinity when you're cleaning up after like drama club or something like that in the 9th grade, and you're like, I want to impress some chicks. You're like, look at how many chairs I can carry at the same time. Holy cow. Look at that. Ryan's got 3 chairs per hand. Good Lord, he's strong. Listen, it's not the most comfortable chair of all time, but it's very portable, it's very stable, it does the trick. I'm putting it in the A tier, man. Now, this is a piano bench. This is not a comfortable seat to sit on for a long period of time. Maybe if you're like Beethoven, it's a little different. It has no back support whatsoever. It does have nice cushioning on it, I'll give it that. But it's very unstable. Now, you shouldn't be probably rattling around and trying to go back on 2 legs anyway. But anytime I'm on a piano bench, I'm always like, it feels like this thing could tip over if I just move my legs a little wrong. So I got to put this down, honestly, in the E tier. It's definitely S tier if you're sitting at a piano. But otherwise, I mean, you could probably play the piano on one of these, honestly. Now, this, to me, there's another genre of chair that I don't respect, which is chairs in bars that charge $22 for hamburgers. So the big loser in that category is definitely this stool, and then this stool right here might be the worst piece of seating equipment that is everywhere on earth. I can't believe there hasn't been like a class action lawsuit against the people who invented the tall metal stool. People will drink like 9 double IPAs sitting on this thing. How are they not falling over and cracking their head on the floor? It doesn't make sense. Never know where to put your feet. Yeah, sometimes if they don't have like a rail or a footrest, all of a sudden you got your feet like set up like this on that tiny little piece of metal that goes across near the bottom. It's just a piece of garbage, man. Just I and then you get the bill and you're like, I had 2 beers and a burrito bowl. That's not worth $53. Are you crazy? Anyway, this chair, to me, this just appears to be what I would describe as a metal normal chair. Now, there's some things that could annoy me about it, like I wish that the bars came down to the bottom so that like maybe it doesn't catch my lumbar in here. It just looks like a chair to me. I got nothing against this chair. I'm gonna put it in the B tier. This chair, I don't even know. I don't know if I've ever sat on this. This is like a subway seat on the Austrian metro. What is this? It's a folded up airhead. It's something you see in the kids' reading section. Dude, I'll tell you, as good as this is, you know what's better than this? Plastic covered elementary school chair with metal legs. Because that, I know this is going to sound crazy, but not only was the plastic more comfortable to sit on than the steel, but it's so stable, you could go unstable on it and just balance yourself by going like this. Like it was actually so stable you could go 2 legs on it and you would only fall over like once every 10 minutes. Like it was amazing. I love that chair. I go to bat for that chair. That's a Werner Panton. How do people know the names of the chair design? It was when we were doing the door handles. People were like, oh, this is a Toulouse. The internet is amazing. It's turned all of us into freaks. It's made freaks out of all of us. Okay, now, I mean, I'm just going to level with you. This doesn't look comfortable. It looks like I could snap it in half. It looks like if you left it out in the sun, you would never be able to sit in it again. It looks like, honestly, it looks like a deformed slide that would go into an above ground water pool. Water pool? Swimming pool? But it is not a bicycle seat with like a Bosu ball on the bottom of it, so at least I'm going to put it in the E tier. And to be honest with you, it at least does have a back, so let's put it above the piano bench. This is a metal chair. This is like, I can't think of a counterexample. Tall-legged chairs, don't like them. You give me the choice to sit at a high top or a regular table, I'll take a regular table any day of the damn week. I'll sit at a high top if I have to, and I'm not going to complain. I'll sit at the bar if I have to, but I would much rather sit at like a real table. But I will say, at least it's not a stool. At least it has a back. I would still probably throw this in the D tier, though. I know it sounds crazy. Stability is important to me. It's not even that I fall off of chairs that much. It's like they just feel like I could fall. Like I can't relax in this chair. It feels like if I give up vigilance for even a second, or if I laugh and I go ha 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 ha, like that could be the last moment of my life. Now this looks like a chair you sit in, and then they turn the speakers up so loud that it like blows your hair back, and you're going like, whoa. I don't know if it's just the more I look at this chair, the more I'm like insulted by the chair. Why are the armrests so high? I'm not a particularly tall guy, but it doesn't feel like my arms are there. Like it feels like I'm sitting like Jerry Stiller or something like that. It is a chopper. So true. It's the ZZ Top chair. I listen. I would put it above this at least, but it doesn't come close to the utility of the folder. So let's keep it in the D tier. These chairs I just find very annoying, very presumptuous. My body is not designed to fit in an egg cup, and my back is not 6 inches tall. So I feel like you're getting kind of the worst of both worlds here. I got to throw this one again. I would throw it in the E tier. I think you're basically dealing with this is 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. What the hell is this? It's a damn Zed. It's another art piece. I weigh 176 pounds. I feel like if I sat on this, it would snap like a damn fortune cookie. It probably wouldn't. Like it's got to be stable, although I've never seen someone sit in them. I bet it would look nice in your house, though. It's like raffle tickets. Bet it would look nice in your house. This is not minimalism, okay? Minimalism is I don't even have a chair. I already have a bed. Why would I need a chair? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, wow. Look, oh, sorry. The Queen of England is here to visit us. She wants a place to sit and a place to lay down. Oh, no, you couldn't possibly sit on the place where you lay down. Anyway, I mean, this is as bad as this is not as bad as a bicycle seat with a Bosu ball. Now this is one where like I hate the way it looks, but it does look comfortable. Looks like you could really relax on this. There is some, and I don't know if everybody's on the same page here. I do have problems with chairs where they don't force you to sit up straight, but they don't let you lay down. I guess I'm kind of like O-Town. I want it all or nothing at all. Like if I'm like for an office chair, for example, I like the one that I have because it doesn't really allow me to kind of like slouch. It keeps my form good, which keeps me alert, and I don't get tempted to slip into leisure, which is not offered. And I like if you have like a sectional that has a long part of the couch where you can actually lay down. I like that as well because you get to do a lay down, maybe take a little dad nap. But this one kind of looks like you could sit on it diagonally, but you would never be comfortable enough to really fall asleep, or at least I wouldn't. But I would still say, I mean, for me, I would put it C tier below folding camper. That one seems comfortable to sit in. This is really bad. This is like this is my nemesis. This is $9 beers, $22 burgers. This one is like, hey, it's $19 for 3 small tacos. They're both like not my ideal form of sitting, but also I feel like not stable. Sorry. Not, like if you try to tip and stand on 1 to 2 legs of these, you're going over, okay? And then because it's plastic, it's gonna shear off. It's all over. I mean, it's pretty bad. But I will say, I mean, it's about. I mean, I would rather. I don't know. This shit. It feels like it's gonna fuck up my back too. Because like the ones like that don't have good back support, I feel like it's okay as long as you're not forced to lean forward so much. But on this, you got to lean forward because you're always like slurping something out of a bowl. Anyway, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't put it in high D tier. I'm gonna shove it down in the E tier here. This is just stupid. I'm sorry. I think we're past this era where like people would have an exercise ball instead of a chair. There's no way. I'm sorry. It just doesn't make sense. You shouldn't sit there. There can't be a scientist on the planet who is like, oh yeah, you know what's really good for you is never being able to like ever relax your back muscles. My wife's sitting on one right now. Come on, man. There's no way. It's fun to sit on. Yeah, if you're not like doing any work or something like that. If you're, listen, because my in laws, when we go to their house, in their playroom that my daughter spends like all her time in, they have an exercise ball. Yeah, I sit on it. I sit on it and I go. But I only do it because every second that I watch my daughter play with like the same 20 toys feels like an hour sometimes. So it's like a distraction from like I'm still doing my parental duty, but it also helps the time go by a little faster. But this is like to sit on this for like 8 hours a day at work. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm sorry. I would put my back up against anybody's back that is sitting on this at work. I don't know how we're going to test it, but I think I wash you. Just being straight up. You go back to back. It has no positives. Not only does it have no back, it has no seat, and it's designed to be unstable. Okay, you're right. It's not. I'll admit, it's not worse than the bike seat on a Bosu ball. That's way worse. Like I don't even think I could sit on this for more than like 2 seconds without falling over. So I'll use some honesty there. Um, this is not a chair. This is the stool that you use when you're like a little kid to get on the doctor's table. This is not for you. You can tell it's not for sitting because the top of it is corrugated. It's a library stool. I don't know if my library had these, but it's what you use to reach the top shelf in the library. This, I mean, I feel like I have to put this right there. I'm moving it below the exercise ball. You can't sit on this. I mean, like it's so low to the ground, you're basically like you're in a squat while you're sitting down. Now, a Muskoka chair. For a long time, I looked down on the Muskoka chair. Also, I think known as an Adirondack in the United States. And I thought, oh, look at these wood slats. That looks like, oh, so harsh. Then, one day, Caden, this is like 5 or 6 years ago, Caden and I went camping, and there was nothing to do. But at the lodge, there was like a Muskoka chair that just looked out into the forest. And I sat on it, and I was like, this is really nice. And I just sort of like sat there for, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, not even doing anything, just sitting there. The chair, just being in the chair was enough of a privilege that it was entertainment in and of itself. I didn't expect this necessarily going in. I'm inclined to throw it into the S. Is it stable? It's insanely stable. You would have to kick off of the ground to tip the thing over. Scroll me. I'm trying to strike a balance, okay, so that you can see the pictures while also seeing the tears, but it's not 100%. It's a very nice chair. What is this? This is not a beanbag. This is an M&M. This is edamame. It's an olive. It's your AirPods case. You guys are pretty funny. You're doing a great job. I mean, what is this one? Yeah, I don't know what this one is. I mean, as stupid as it looks, just being honest with you, I would rather sit on this than sit on a sphere. So I'm inclined to throw it down here. Does look pretty dumb, but now what is this? And I mean that sincerely. Cause like it's like a bike, but he's on wheels, like four casters. But he's holding handlebars. That's a desk. Ah, yeah, I see it now. At first, I thought he was holding like motorcycle handlebars or something. To me, this seems like one of those things that you buy because your doctor tells you you have to buy it. But like, if you didn't have a doctor's note telling you to buy this, you would never. I mean, it just doesn't seem comfortable to me. I'm kind of, how do you get in it? How do you get onto it? It's like angled so forward. Like at the crotch, is there like a stopper to stop you from sliding down? Or are your feet in stirrups or something? Also, and this is, I'm just gauging this with my eyes, but like this seems like it could easily lead to some catastrophic falls. Like if you try to get up the wrong way, I think you're going face forward. You're going ass over tea kettle. I don't even want to know what happens if you go backwards. If you hit some choppy air. I'm just saying it seems hard to dismount. I want to add a caveat here, okay? If you are in a position where you need this for your personal health, then ignore this. But I think I'd rather sit on the exercise ball. It kind of looks like it's bad for your knees too, but I'm not like an ergonometrist. I can't believe everybody in chat seems to have some familiarity with this. I've never seen this apparatus in my entire life. Now I'm thinking, dude, if I ever like open up an office, I'm not gonna have chairs. I'm just gonna have different weird shit, and we're gonna learn something about your personality when you come in. Here's a tricycle. You can go sit on the tricycle. There's a kneeling chair. Here's an old refurbished like roller coaster car, and you got to put the lap bar down. Here's a library stool. This, for me, these loungers, it's like an Adirondack chair, but worse. But not much worse. For some reason, I I know I said it about this one. Like if I have the choice, I'd rather have a chair that you could sit or a chair where you could lay down, not one that is bad at both. I would really, at the end of the day, I would if I'm sitting, if I'm in a chair, I want to sit. I don't want to lay for the most part. I would rather sit than lay. If I'm laying in this to get a nap, I would rather go to bed. I would rather be like, it's nap time. I'm going to go into my bedroom. That being said, that's merely my justification for why the Muskoka defeats the pool lounger. But for me personally, this is still a really good chair. I mean, I would put it up in the A tier. There sometimes the another reason that could lower it, could de-escalate it down to a B, is occasionally you'll sit in one of these and whoever set it up didn't have the back part stable. So as soon as you put your weight on it, it goes snap, brrrr, and then you find yourself at 180. But apart from that, still pretty good. Now, oh my God, we have so many chairs, dude. What it was fucked up is when I looked at this at first, I said, wow, there's so many chairs. This is going to be awesome. Now I'm like, oh, fuck, dude. This is way too many chairs. Movie theater chairs. I mean, in the modern day, pretty good. As a kid, might not have been that great, but you were always at least at the movies. These are the garbage kind? Bro, these are mid. Garbage is the ones that have like the old 90s like laser beams on and they're covered in carpet. And then you like walk to the row you want to go in, and like half the chairs still have the spring, so the chairs are up, and half of them have no spring and they're like permanently down. As soon as you sit down in one, you can feel like the whole row pitch forward 1 degree just based on your weight. This one's not so bad. These are like mid 2000s or later movie theater seats. These are fine, man. These are, you feel like you're getting on like a rocket ship or something like that. I would feel comfortable throwing these in the B tier for sure. Now, I almost feel like this is like worse than just the ball. The half ball, like a half ball on a chair that didn't have wheels, sort of makes sense to me. But isn't there some kind of like a butterfly effect here? Like a positive equilibrium where as soon as you get a little bit of movement on the ball, that leads to more movement on the wheels, which leads to more movement on the ball, which leads to more movement on the wheels. And then before, like, as soon as you sit down, you're like, oh, this is kind of nice. And then in 2 minutes, you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. It seems, yeah, there's a physics bug with this chair. Like, it doesn't seem right. My mom has this chair at her desk in her classroom. She loves it. Is your mom a chair teacher? Does she teach people what chairs are good and bad? Or does she just teach something useless like mathematics? It's a good chair? No, I'm sorry. I have to disagree with you. I know you've sat in it and I haven't. But I'm looking at this. There's nothing you could do to convince me that the ball is a good chair. Like I think I would rather just sit on the ball. I think I would rather sit in like the kneeling chair. Like this is like an abomination. It's like a bad chair with a bad ball on top of it. Now this chair looks nice. You know what? I'm going to tell you, I don't know how stable it is. But I'll tell you, you do not need stability in this chair because you are at a serious place. This is not something, they're not having you sit on these in 9th grade French class. Okay, this is something you sit at when you're about to meet your attorney or something along those lines. You're about to close a merger or an acquisition. It's just a nice looking chair that I feel very comfortable putting in the B tier. It's got back support, it's got armrests. It kind of looks like a guy with really long arms, like his arms are so long that he's kind of dragging them along the ground like spaghetti noodles. Now apparently this is Art Deco again, but I have to be honest with you, I still hate this. Maybe I'm Art Deco, but I like Art Deco elevators. I don't like Art Deco furniture. This to me is well, I just imagine myself sitting in it, and I'm like, it actually does feel like it'd be pretty comfy. It does look a little bit like Dr. Evil's chair. I mean, I'm just going to level with you. I think it's... I definitely would rather have it than the stool. And I don't even know what this is, but I feel like at least... With this chair, I feel like I at least know what I'm getting into. This one, I'm like, this thing gonna swallow me up? Is there a button to press to make like the back go a little lower? Can I roll it down like a power window? Why is the folding chair in A? Because it's stable, it's portable, it does its job. When did we become so derogatory towards base competency? You can use it as a weapon in a WWE match. I mean, this is like, let me put it this way. This is a chair that I guess based on Jay's love of maximal interior design, this is a chair you could find in Jay's house. I would put it at the top of the F tier because at the very least, I bet it's comfortable to sit on. It looks plush. But I would rather sit on the potty, honestly, I think. I don't know what I'm looking at here. It's like a chair that has no cushion. It's a hole in the middle. Is it a glass bottom? It's wicker? Okay, wait a minute. So like this little line is the seat. This is like a bar with some stability, and this is the back. This is a non-Don Norman compliant chair. I mean, I'm throwing it down in the E tier. If I have to figure out how I'm going to sit on this chair, then it's no good. This chair, I feel like we've had some that are like deceptively good, like the folding chair. This is like deceptively bad. Like it looks like it's super comfortable, but because of the way that the back is set up, you can't really rest up against it. You have to spend your whole appointment like lean forward on your knees or something, or on your elbows. Your elbows are on your knees. There's nowhere for your arms to go. You're sitting there. You're like, am I talking too much? I don't know what to do with my arms. Do I put my thumbs in my pockets like I'm a sheriff? Do I put my arms fully at my sides like I'm some kind of psychopath? Do I grab one wrist with my other hand like I had to do it to him? This just seems it. I'll give it that it's got some comfort. Okay, I'm liking the plush, but it's certainly I don't think you elevate it above a D tier. Where do you put your arms on the folding chair? Bro, you don't need to put your arms anywhere on the folding chair because whenever they're like, oh, and the valedictorian is buh, you go, you suck. Like your arms are always doing something like this. Or like, sack tapping your friend next to you or something like that, or rolling up a spitball and then blowing it at somebody. You wouldn't get it, man. You weren't in high school in the 80s like me. So this chair, I don't know if it's my body, but I kind of hate it. Not my body. I'm like okay with it, but I hate this chair. I need the chair to inform my body where to go, not my body to inform the chair where to go. It is hard to stand up from these too. Like I want a chair that's like Spanx. I want it to be like we're gonna tighten everything up. I don't want it to be like just to hang out wherever you want. So and also I don't know if it's just me. Sure, you end up like your back is fairly comfortable on this. I don't need a low impact chair, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm still like I'm at a place in my life where a chair can be medium impact. I don't need like my doctor recommended I get a chair that isn't so hard on my ass. I'm old, but I'm not that old. Also, I always feel like the backs of my calves get like rubbed weird by the wood here. They need to put more fabric here. I have 2 red lines on the back of my calves after sitting on this thing. So I mean, I would much rather. Well, here's the thing. I would rather sit in this than this, But if you're like, hey, can you bring a chair to the cottage? I mean, I'm bringing that. Toot sweet. And if you got this one, and this one set out to lounge in, this is last pick. So I'm putting it high D, maybe like right around here. Like if we're at like a campfire, and I say this without a hint of irony, I would rather post up in this at a campfire than post up in this. This is office chair but bad. I feel like anybody else get one of these from IKEA when you went to furnish your first off-campus house. This is like an office chair you could get for $60 in 2006, 2007. Bad. I mean, we're ranking it relative to other office chairs as well. Um, this is like the worst of the office chairs that actually is trying to be an office chair. So I'm throwing this. It's still like it's designed to sit in on like half the shit down here. So I'm giving it a C. I would put it right around here. Or sorry, a D. I'd put it right around there. This is like metal chair. What I will say, much like plastic stool, whatever you're eating from this restaurant is going to cost you more than you want to pay, but at least they gave you a back. That's more than you get from a lot of places these days. It elevates it at least to, I would say, like the C tier. It's comfortable to sit in. I might even put it there. It's just a chair. At the end of the day, it's just a chair. We got some crazy chairs coming up. I'm noticing. There's an electric chair, a Lego chair, the bench from Forrest Gump. This chair is a car, or is it a shoe? This is, I mean, I feel like yet again, this is just a chair. It looks relatively stable. It looks relatively nice. It's a simple average chair. I would rather sit in this than this. Yeah, I think I would rather eat a meal in this than this for sure. If I have to sit down for 2 minutes, maybe I take this chair. But to be honest, if I got to sit down for 2 minutes, I think I just stand. Now this is a sofa. I would rather sit on a sofa than sit in a chair any day of the week. Maybe that'll change as time passes. You know how like every old man has a recliner, or at least did in our generation? I don't see myself becoming a recliner guy. I think I'm always going to be couch pilled. I don't see a reason to change. It is a little unfair to include a sofa on a couch tier list. The one thing I'll say, I don't know if we have other sofas. I don't think we do. I wouldn't put the leather and steel sofa up at the top. I'm a fabric sofa sort of guy. Maybe like wood sofa leather cushions, but I like not like my grandma's couch. I'm just like a nice fabric. Like this to me is like two 1999. Plus, like on a hot day, you're sticking to the leather. On a cold day, the leather's too cold. But I mean, it's definitely nice to sit on. It certainly beats a folding chair. A dentist chair. Am I an insane person if I put a dentist chair or a barber's chair, I guess, in the S tier? It's just a great chair. I've never, and I haven't got my hair cut for a while, but when I got my hair cut or when I'm at the dentist, I'm never like, oh, this chair is uncomfortable. I'm always like, oh, this chair is helping me relax a little bit. It's cozy, it's functional, it has pitch, it has yaw, it has roll, it has elevation. It makes a cool sound. It goes like, psh, 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 psh. This is an S tier. I mean, I don't know how you want me to rank this. I think this would make a great office chair. It's stable. I don't think if you fall out of your dentist chair, I think that shit is like bolted to the damn ground. It might not be like an ideal chair to have at your work desk or something like that, but it might be. I don't know. You gotta evaluate it by like its own criteria. I don't mind a rocking chair either. My it sounds a little backwards. My problem with most rocking chairs is that they're low because they used to make old people shorter. But recently they've changed that. But even as like a little kid, well, not a little kid, but as like a 12-year-old, whenever you sit in a rocking chair, your knees are like up around your chin when the thing is like rocked back. So if they start making rocking chairs that are like, I don't even know, just like a few inches taller, or like the chair was a few inches higher off of the rockers, I'd be more into it for sure. But yeah, I don't mind a rocking chair. I just like a chair that gives you something to do as well. Like you don't need to tip a rocking chair backwards. You just rock, man. Now I think having one in your house, something I would not do as a 34-year-old. It kind of feels like that's something you do when you're like, this is the house, not to be rude, but like this is the house I'm going to die in. And I hope I don't die in this house because that'll probably mean there was some sort of. Phew, I'm okay. It's a good chair. I got nothing against. I mean, I would put it. Honestly, I put it right up here with the folder. What is this? This is like a half stool, half chair that you would find in Celine Dion's restaurant. 1950s aesthetic. I give it some credit because the circle stool is more stable than the square stool. I don't know physics wise. By the way, Valentine, thanks for the gifted subscriptions. Thank you. I don't know how that like a square feels like an unstable shape when you're on the top of it. A circle feels a little bit more stable. Why are you going on about stability? It's not, I've said it before, it's not that I am going to fall over. It's that I want a chair that doesn't make me think I'm going to fall over. It's like telling someone on an airplane, like, oh, why are you worried about turbulence? You know, like planes almost never crash due to turbulence. Yeah, well, I'm trying to watch the menu. And it's already hard to watch it because the subtitles are 3 seconds behind the audio. And then like one of the headphones is like shorted out. So I have to keep the headphone jack like a little bit out for some reason. And every time the plane gets jostled, it then makes the headset short out again. And meanwhile, they're going zoom, zoom. It's like I can't feel any comfort, man. It's like when I'm sitting on, I know I've besmirched this a lot throughout the tier list so far. When I'm sitting on one of these, I'm like, I maybe this is what they want in the restaurant. I don't want to stay. I want to have my meal. I want to get out of the restaurant because it feels like at any moment I could tip backwards and smash my head on an exposed concrete floor. On the flip side, if I'm sitting in like, where did it go? Where's my, there you go. If I'm sitting in one of these right here, you're going to have to pepper spray me to get me out of the damn house or out of the restaurant. This thing, I'd be like, why would I leave? I'm right where I want to be. This thing, I'm like, did you even want me here in the first place? That is what they want. That's fine. They can want that. And if the food's good, like I'll come back. But like, I'm just saying that I'm not going to give the chair any credit for that. This is hostile architecture, okay? Anyway, the stool is okay. There's nothing wrong with the stool. Or the stool with the back, at least. I prefer it. It's definitely better than this. And it seems better than this. I don't think it seems good enough to go up a tier, but I would at least pop it down right there. This is the same chair as this chair. What is the difference between these two chairs? One of them has like a blanket on the back, and one of them has wallpaper. They're the same chair. She's got a long back. I mean, the tighter chair gets the edge, but not by much. Similarly, this chair is just this chair. But I will say, I would rather sit on this version of the chair. I don't know. Does it look a little bit like a Minecraft ass chair? Yes, it does. But maybe that's why I like it. This is a little Minecrafty. Now this is taking me back to teaching ESL. As a kid, there's nothing wrong with these, but like as an adult, this is horrible. You can sit on it, but the area of the circle is smaller than the area of the average adult human's ass. So a little bit of your ass is like hanging off the side. And the legs are only like 10 inches off the ground. So you're basically like, you're almost ass to grass the whole time you're sitting on this thing. Then when you get up, you better be putting your hands on the top of your knees in order to brace yourself a little bit. So, I mean, it's not quite an F, but if I went to a restaurant, I would rather sit on this. Toss me over here. It's pretty close to I mean, to be honest with you, I would rather sit on this. At least it would be an experience. This tier, as far as I'm concerned, is only for things that are jokes. And these are all, I'm sorry to offend the people who are like, I have a kneeling chair and it's awesome. I'm sure everybody at the office thinks you're really cool, okay? Well, I have a chair that looks like I'm driving an invisible motorcycle. Okay, good for you. I just need you to reset my password real quick, okay? I forgot it, and I can't use one of the last 9 passwords I've used. So if you could just reset it for me real quick so I could get my work done, that would be nice. There's too many chairs, man. I'm hidden chair exhaustion. No, we can make it through. We can do this, okay? This chair looks perfectly nice to me. I'm going to say it's just a chair. I would like to sit. This is like it's a stool, but it's more stable. It's a diner chair, but it has more back support. I have no problem throwing this bad boy, with its cousin. I would say they accomplish a similar objective. Now, am I crazy to say that this is a chair with a desk attached to it? It is indeed. Okay. I'm actually going to I'm going to do this chair a favor. And I'm going to say, bro, there's a desk. There's a desk attached to this thing. That's a desk right here. It's not a desk? What are you talking about? That's a desk, man. That's the seat. What are you talking about? You sit sideways and then this is like a hip supporter? All right, I'm starting to think that might be the seat. You sit like this. Okay, this is a chair for kindergarten. Okay, well, in that case, listen, I was going to go off on the desk chair. I saw people being like, this is an A-tier chair. The desk chairs are horrible. And if you're left-handed, they're even worse. Because they always have like 90% of the auditorium is right-handed affixed desks. You got to sit with the other weirdos in left-hand prison, always wedged in like the front left of the auditorium. It's not a real desk. Like you can't actually put any shit on it or in it. You can just drape like 1/3 of a piece of paper over it and then like slowly move it up as you keep writing your answers. Anyway, but this, I mean, if you're in kindergarten, this is fine and it's better than a stool. But if you're an adult, it's bad and better than a stool. Now this chair, I put this, I think this is the easiest answer of my entire life. It's an outdoor lounge type chair, something you might see on your porch. It beats the pants off of these. I don't think it beats the pool lounger. So I think that puts it somewhere in C or B. I mean, I don't think it stands up to these guys. Just to be honest with you, I'd be happy to throw it in the C tier. Egg chair from Men in Black. It's not quite an F, but I would throw it down here with the bean and the raffle tickets. This is essentially this is an art project. These are mad comfy. Yeah, maybe for you, not for me. Why is Chipotle in B? What if it does its job? Don't need a chair to give you a prostate massage for it to be like competent. It's not B worthy. It's comfortable. Say what you will about Chipotle. You'll be, oh, don't go to Chipotle. You got to go to Las Casa Amigos. When I go to Chipotle, they respect me enough to give me a real chair. I go to Las Casa Amigos. They're like, here's a plastic stool. By the way, tortilla chips are like another $6 on top. Why don't you relax, La Casa Amigos? And buy some better chairs. Maybe steal some from Chipotle. You already stole their menu. Okay, this, I placed myself as if I was in the chair, and I said I like it. I said, to me, this feels very comfortable. It feels plush. Feels like it comes up and supports maybe roughly up to your collarbone. It's got a nice ottoman as well. I mean, I would feel inclined to toss it right there. I would love to sit in one of these. Leg rest is too high. This might be a controversial take. I'm a high leg rest sort of guy. There, I placed it. I don't like the low leg rest, like where your body goes like, boo. Because I think my brain is like, I'm falling, I'm sliding. I like my legs to be level with my hips, or alternatively, I would even take a slight upward. Not V. I don't want to be bent, but like a little, like this, and then a 1 degree pitched up would be totally fine. Kills your back? Not my back. Your back, maybe? Sure, your back. We're talking about your back? Maybe. My back? Nah. It's doing just fine. This is the metal Chipotle chair with no air holes. I don't see a good reason to move this really like above or below. I think these are roughly equivalent. A director's chair. It's interesting to think about. I've never sat in a director's chair, I think. Hang on, let me get a... They suck? Okay, Steven Spielberg. I mean, they don't look very stable, and they've got the same problem with the folding chair, right? Where they don't have anything going on right here. You better make sure, I'm realizing if you're a director, your pants better fit well, because you can't be showing crack. Some chairs you can get away with it. You know, if you're sitting in a movie theater chair, who cares if you're showing crack? Nobody's going to see it. If you're sitting in this, you better have a belt on. You're right. What do you do with your feet when you're in the director's chair? This is the chair just designed to humble you and make you feel like you're 8 years old? Why is the director's chair a thing? Why can't directors just sit on a normal chair? They need to move it a lot? Okay. I guess you don't want to see, Alfonso Cuarón sitting on one of these, because he'd be falling over every 30 seconds. It makes sense. I guess I shouldn't presume that I have the director's job figured out. I don't know. It's a hard one to rate. But I'll be honest with you. If we were at like a barbecue and someone fucking posted up with one of these instead of one of these, I would judge them. I would be like, bro, you're not a director. Relax. You're Canadian. So but can I also say this is the kind of chair, like if you saw this in your friend's house, you would be like, I'm at least going to sit in it. Like, I just want to know what, and then I'll probably, like, especially if they have one of those, like, megaphones, I'll sit in it for a little bit and be like, action! You're in my light! Cut! You're in my light! So I got to elevate it to D just for that. Okay, this is the Herman Miller Aeron. Now, I'm sitting in this chair presently. I'm very happy with my purchase, but I don't think I can put it in the S tier. And I'm going to do my best to explain why. I don't know why it's good. I'm sitting in it. My back feels great. Everybody on the internet says it's the best chair of all time. Ergonomics experts say it's fantastic, but it's like maybe you underrate it because it's subtly fantastic. Like as soon as you sit down in a Muskoka chair, you're like, oh man, it's time to relax. As soon as you sit down in a barber chair, you're like, man, it's like I'm surrounded by leather right now. But when you sit down in the Herman Miller, it's I don't know, it's built for long-term sustainability. No, I'm moving the Aeron up a little bit, but too expensive for S? I mean, I'm pretty sure one of these chairs is like $4,000, maybe more. I should start streaming from a dentist chair. I respect the folding chair. I don't. People are. You know what this is? This is like that show on. I don't watch a lot of YouTube, but where they go to like, hey, like we're gonna try some $10 sushi, some $100 sushi, and some $1,000 sushi. And then sometimes like they're like, well, for the money, the $10 sushi is like the way to do it. The $100 sushi was a little bit better, but too expensive. And the $1,000 sushi was almost a little too fancy for me. People in the comments are like, $10 sushi better than $1,000 sushi? They didn't say that. You make a composite rating out of all the factors. This is the folding chair. Like, if I would not sit in this shit to stream, that's psychotic. But like, I also wouldn't fill a high school gymnasium with 1,000 Herman Miller Aerons. It would be like bumper cars out there. You got to evaluate it based on a composite of all the available information. Now, the Iron Throne, I mean, it's a joke. I'm sorry. I would rather sit on the Iron Throne than sit on a bicycle seat attached to a Bosu ball. But it's a joke chair. Like it seems extremely uncomfortable. It's made of swords. I don't want to sit on swords. This is also really bad. Like I would be inclined to say that this is actually worse than a stool. It might be the most functional piece of sitwear that I'm going to put in the F tier. Like this is like nothing. I maybe put it above. You know what? I'd probably put it below lips. This is something that you catch crabs in. It is not something you sit on. Okay, Lego chair. Straight up, I would rather sit on the bicycle seat on a Bosu ball than the Lego chair. That seems very uncomfortable. And then this motherfucker right here, referenced it like 70 times throughout the tier list so far. It's not the worst chair of all time, but it is the bane of my existence. Here's a meme for you. If you see this, your ass is about to pay $25 for a cheeseburger. There's no doubt about it. Chib, you were just in Los Angeles. You can probably relate to this. It is better, without a doubt, than the plastic version. If you see this, your ass is about to have 4 double IPAs before you get on your flight. The plastic version is so good. Wrong. Boom, roasted. Whenever I'm on a chair, I feel that plastic stool, I feel like Anthony Bourdain. Okay, I'll +2 you for that. I think that's an insightful comment. I'm just picturing you high on poppers and drunk off your ass, eating a fried avocado taco, having like an insane Anthony Bourdain monologue in your head. Sitting on a plastic stool while like the March Madness plays on a TV at 300 decibels above you. So maybe this is it, the spirit of America. I had to travel across an ocean to get here, and yet when I landed, everything seemed so familiar. It's curious how they can have so many cultural exports, and then when you get here, it still feels a little alien. I almost feel like it's a funhouse mirror, reflecting the rest of the world, reflecting itself. I don't know how he does a send-off, anyway. That was not too bad for improv. For coming off the top of the head. Anyway, I don't like this stool or the restaurants that have them. What are poppers? Poppers are a drug, a class of drug containing amyl nitrate. And Chip can protest this all he wants. They were commonly used in like disco culture in the 1970s and 80s. One of the main reasons they were used is they cause involuntary relaxation of your smooth muscles, in particular your anus. Now, Chib said when he was on his I've never done them because I don't want to punch like a hole in my brain. Chib said they don't make your butthole get loose. What I think he was trying to say is they do make your butthole get loose, but they also might have some other effects that some people would find beneficial. They might have a multifaceted effect on people. They make you lightheaded for 30 seconds. Look, this is not a drugs tier list, something that genuinely I'm not qualified to talk about. And we're getting into some like dark stuff here. If you ever watch like Intervention, like you'll see people that are alcoholics. It's very sad. You know, they're destroying their lives. You'll see people that are addicted to heroin. It's very sad. They're destroying their lives. Then you see people that are addicted to crack. It's very sad. They're destroying their lives. But the alcoholic and the heroin addict, at least when they get their fix, they got a few hours of, you know, being in what is their demented version of bliss. The crack addict, he smokes the crack, and then in like 10 minutes, he's like, all right, I'm back. And I'm like, it took you all day to get the crack, and then you smoked it, and it's like, I'm ready for more? Like I've never smoked crack, but they were talking about it when they said that the high lasts like 10 minutes. I was like, 10 minutes? I mean, obviously, that's not the reason you wouldn't do crack, but like, I guess what I'm trying to say is if you were to deliberately get addicted to any drug, I don't know what my takeaway message is. It was just, after watching so many episodes of Intervention, I was like, this one's maybe the most fucked up of all. People are going around, they're like smashing car windows for a 10-minute high? Addiction's crazy, man. That's why I take issue when people are like, oh yeah, but you do caffeine. I'm like, yeah, my ass drinks a cup of cold brew before I get on the Peloton. I'm not doing anything crazy. Let's not draw like a false equivalence here. Nobody says that. Wrong. Lots of people say that. They just say it in deliberately bad faith, and then sometimes I fall for the bait. But anyway. Okay, anyway, this fucker, this piece of shit right here is not that bad, but like, It's a harbinger that you're about to max out your credit card buying two soft tacos. So it's definitely above plastic stool. I mean, it looks it's more comfortable than the IKEA office chair, the starter office chair for sure. This is the electric chair. I'm gonna have to put that in the F tier. I would probably rather sit on the Lego chair than be electrocuted to death and die. You know, I don't want, this doesn't need to become like an ethical discussion. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about the death penalty. I feel like I'm pretty anti death penalty, but I haven't really sat down and reasoned with it for a while. But I am definitely anti putting people in a chair, putting a metal bowl on their heads, and then flipping a huge switch and shocking them to death with a lightning bolt. That's fucking brutal, man. Like, and they were doing that, like, what was the last execution via electric chair? It was probably like in my lifetime. That's fucking crazy. It was not yesterday. Come on. Tennessee still does them? Okay, never mind. There we go. May 10th, 2002. That's fucking crazy, man. People getting electrocuted. They're in the electric chair in 2002. Anyway. I mean, I don't know. Like, we're not going to do like an execution tier list. I feel like my ass would like rather hang. They're both brutal. I don't know. I don't want to think about it. Actually, I don't even think lethal injection is at the top. I think getting like my head chopped off is probably close to the top. But wouldn't want it to be like a public execution. Like I wouldn't want it to be like have people are like buying snacks and like getting there early to get good seats. And then like I'm getting a little nervous tummy that's like, oh, it's only like an hour till I get my head chopped. Like, that would be like the real torture. And then I'm like, why they're dragging me up the staircase, and I'm like, please don't, please don't. And people are throwing tomatoes at me, and I'm like, were it not but for a simple twist of fate, you yourself could have found yourself on the gallows today, good sir. And they're like, no, never. We're made of different moral fiber. It has nothing to do with our circumstances. We're stupid. We're stupid. And I'm like, you don't get it. And then like it would be a blessing when the guillotine severed my spinal cord there. But if they were just like, hey, come in at like 11 and we'll get this done, like quietly, I'd be like, okay. I could enjoy it until like the night before, probably. I definitely do not want to get like electrocuted to death. Because that seems like just the world's worst roller coaster. It's like I already don't like roller coasters that much. But then to know that like when they flip the switch is like I'm going to get struck by lightning is pretty bad. And not even for like a second. They're going to keep that thing on for like 20 seconds or something like that. Anyway, let's move on. Yeah, I definitely would not like to have all 4 of my limbs broken and then be shackled into a boat and have my body covered in honey and then pushed out to sea so that like wild birds ate my flesh over the course of several days. There's a lot of public execution methods from history that I would definitely not be super into. Anyway, cooked alive inside of a golden bowl. The one that's, and this is Dan Carlin pilled, but the one that's so crazy to me is like the breaking of the wheel, which you're like, oh, what is that? Is that when they put you on like the table and then they stretch you? No, that's the rack. Oh, is that maybe they put you in a big barrel and roll you down a hill? No, they literally just use a fucking huge wheel and break all your bones. And then they just sort of like thread your body through the wheel. And they just leave you there in the town square until your ass expires. What's the point of the wheel? Like, is it symbolic or so? It feels like if you just use like a hammer or something, that would be more efficient. What were they thinking? I'm sure the hangman was like, you know, if you just give me an axe, I could do like 12 times more clients today. Instead, the king is like, nope, it has to be the wheel. All right. I mean, you're the one signing the checks, brother. I'm just telling you. You don't tell me how to do my job. I guess I shouldn't tell you how to do yours. But anyway, sorry. Regardless. So this is just like a bench. Can I tell you, I've previously said that I don't know who sits on park benches except for old people. Yesterday, we had to sit on a park bench. We were a little early for our appointment to sign some contracts for this new daycare. My daughter had a bun that we bought at a bakery. She can't really eat and walk at the same time. She's still working on both of those, really. I said, look at that, an unoccupied park bench. We sat on the park bench and ate the bun. It was very nice. Execution tier list is kind of a great idea. I don't think this is a futon. Because, like, I think if you fold this fucker down, you're going to... That's, like, where your spine goes. That would be bad. Either way, I don't know. I'm taking too much time. This is comfortable. It's not, like, outrageously comfortable, but it's totally fine. No portability. Very stable, though. If you tip a park bench over, you're a menace to society. Now, I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't know what this is. This looks like it's made out of ropes or something like that. It looks like when you put your legs through it, they would cinch up and you'd be stuck in the chair forever. What is it? It looks like something. This is stuff you can't sit in, as far as I'm concerned. This is stuff you can sit in, but it would be like close to the bottom of the list. Probably rather sit in that than a kindergarten chair. And then I would put it above the art pieces, I suppose. Now, the back seat on a bus, maybe this is an unpopular take. Maybe this is a train, for that matter. Tend to be pretty nice. I bet they're billing them out to the taxpayer at like $2,500 a seat. Let's put it that way. Airplane seat, I feel like, I don't know, there's something, an airplane seat, I think it's because they put so many other seats so close to you that the airplane seat feels bad, when actually it's kind of sick. But like a train seat, I don't want to say I'm a hero. When I get on the SkyTrain, I don't take a chair. It's not because I don't like sitting down. It's because I have PTSD from the time I sat down on the bus and then an insane person yelled at me and called me a slur and then wanted to fight on the bus. And then I just said, okay, and got off. So now I just stand. But also, it feels cool to stand on the subway because it's like you're riding like the world's biggest skateboard. You are a subway surfer. That's absolutely true. Well, anyway, regardless, I think I'm losing the plot a little bit here. I think this is also in the B tier. You know what it is? It's a matter of perspective. When you're in a movie theater and everything is chairs, you're like, oh, I wish these chairs were a little more comfortable. When you're on a train and you're sitting in a chair, you're like, look at all these fools standing up. I'm so lucky to have a chair. It makes you feel like you're the king of the castle. So I would keep it around the movie theater chair. I feel like they're fairly similar. If anything, the movie theater chair is probably more comfortable, but you don't feel like you're better than anybody else when you sit in one, unless you paid extra for D-Box. If you have to make me sit in a stupid chair, I would sit in this stupid chair more than I would like to sit on the stools. I think they look kind of ugly, but I think they look fairly comfortable. Paying for D-Box is insane to me. What, you don't like paying more money to have a worse experience? By the way, we pay for D-Box every time. We don't go to the movies very often. It's worth like the extra $5 a ticket for me Because what happens is that like when the trailers finish and they turn the D box on, the chair goes, brrr, and then I look at my wife and I raise my eyebrows really high, and then I make a big show about like turning down the intensity on the chair, and she laughs. That's worth the $10 right there. And then as soon as she's not looking, I crank it back up. With D box is like the world's mellowest roller coaster. It's a chair that has like 5 degrees of movement across like the 360-degree axis and can also like vibrate. So when you're watching Matt Reeves' The Batman 2022 and there's the 135-minute long car chase in the middle, you're like, boom! Anyway, we have like 25 more chairs to go through. I got to go faster. This is the worst of all the patio chairs. I can just feel this weird, like, pseudo plastic netting forming a pattern on my skin after sitting in it for too long. This, for me, it's not that bad though. I would place it down here in the D tier. This is going to be a very hated opinion. I'm anti beanbag. There's always like 20 pro beanbag guys in a group of 21 guys. I feel blessed to not ever have to fight for the beanbag. I don't really like sitting in it. They always smell funky. Eventually they get a hole popped in it, and then you sit down on it, and then you got a vacuum like right afterwards. I just don't find it that comfortable either. So for me, a beanbag is actually down here, like it's in the D tier. I'd rather sit on a beanbag chair than a piano. I don't even know. I mean, it's somewhere in there. I might rather sit on the piano bench, honestly. Even as a kid, I've never been a beanbag guy. It's just not my. I'd much rather sit on a sofa than a beanbag chair. Yeah, I don't like a chair that you sink into, really. I like a chair that like it pushes back against you. When you bite the fry bites back, my man. Getting up from a beanbag chair is degrading. That's true. Your ass has got to like push the chair back a little bit. It takes you like a couple of tries to get enough momentum. You're not wrong. Now, this is not sane, but I'm going to give this a higher rank just because it looks cool. Looks comfortable, comes with a footrest. It's like art, but it's functional at the same time. It's a very groovy combination. Let's pop that up into maybe like the C tier. Therapist chair. Seems nice to me. Higher than Barcelona? What the hell is the Barcelona? Can somebody tell me what the Barcelona is? It's the first chair you ranked. Okay, that's a memory test. I don't know. First chair I ranked was this dude right here. No, that was like number 2, right? It's the Black V. This one? Buddy, that's not a Barcelona. I'm sorry to tell you, that's just a damn chair. You seem to be mistaken. Buddy, it's not a V. That's true. If anything, it looks like an L. Anyway, therapist chair. I mean, I don't know, but this looks like a comfy way to lay down. I know I said I prefer to have like maybe my legs parallel to my hips, but if you throw a little bend in here, that's fine. I wouldn't want to be like a straight backslash, but if you throw in a little bend to get like a manifold in there, then sure. I would take this as I mean, this looks like I'd rather be on this than a park bench. I'd rather be on it than you. I'd rather be on it than a train seat. If you put these in the movie theater, I would rather sit on it. If you put these in Chipotle, I would rather sit on the Chipotle chair. Okay. This chair, it just strikes me as uninspiring. This is the kind of chair, if you get a four top at a restaurant, you sit in it. You're not displeased with it. You have your bacon and eggs, and then you get out. I got nothing against it, and I got nothing for it. But I honestly, I think that puts it solidly in like the C camp. Like if you showed me this or this, I would be content with either. If can I level with you? This motherfucker's actually moving back a little bit. I like the ring here. I don't like that this has no stability on the sides. I feel like I could fall out of it at any given moment, like the fly at Canada's Wonderland. I want a little bit. I want to feel secure in my chair, and I'm taking this. Now stool, you know I'm not a big fan of it. Given how small this stool looks, I think I would rather have the tall plastic, and I know it's crazy, but now just a square on the ground. Essentially, this is just a stool that can't tip over. I would also put this fairly low. It's also a stool that you can't really move. Or the museum would rather you didn't, at least. I mean, I think I'd rather sit in it than the beans. Put me right there. That's my Amazon package. Park bench with slats. We don't need to make it so serious. Park bench with slats looks less comfortable to me than the park bench with the griddle. I'm going to put it slightly below at a high C. Now this thing looks like a damn shoehorn. It looks uncomfortable, but it does at the very least look like a chair. I'm going to place it, let's be realistic. I'd rather sit on it than a beanbag. I'd rather sit on it than a piano bench. Yeah. I mean, this is like when you get the 6-inch, and this is like when you get the foot long, as far as I'm concerned. It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Well, actually, it's 6 of one, a dozen of the other, I guess, but that's fine. Classic grandma dining chair. If you had a little cushion nestled right here in the keyhole, then I would give you slight props. But to have nothing in the back is insane to me and relegates you to the E tier again. I would much rather sit on this than this. It's about even with the plastic stool, I would say. What is this? It's a plastic dog? There's a lot of psychotic chairs. This is a joke. This is in the F tier. This looks like a chair from Blue's Clues. We've had a chair like this. It's kind of like it's like a corduroy version of this one, the Minecraft chair. Limited back support, limited armrest, still looks relatively comfortable. I would feel like tossing it in there. Okay, it's not worse than the electric chair. It's not worse than the Lego block. I don't think it's worse than the bike seat. I would probably rather sit on the stool, though. What is this? Oh, white plastic patio chair. I mean, inferior to this. Inferior to these, I'm sorry to say. So toss it down in the E tier. S tier, are you insane? You know it doesn't come with the hamburger. I'm glad everybody has the same experience with this. You lean back once, one of the legs snaps off. They do stack. They have some stackability. Listen, I might move it up a couple of places if this was dark green. But a white plastic chair like this? Nah, man. No shot. I don't know if this is a torture chair or if this is for royalty. And that is going to have a huge impact on my guess, to be honest. I have to say, though, it looks pretty comfortable. Maybe like you'd end up getting some brass etchings in your back, but the cushion looks choice. I would at least move it up into the D tier. I mean, listen, if you're out at the beach and your friend says, "Oh, there's two of these bad boys, and then also there's the throne that the Queen of Spain used to sit on," I'm calling shotgun on the Queen of Spain chair. But like, I probably would take this chair over it. I would probably be like, "No, you take that one. I'll just relax a little bit." I don't know what I'm looking at here. This looks like it looks like a mushroom doing pull-ups. Does anyone else see a mushroom doing pull-ups? Do I need to talk to a psychiatrist? It's like, here's one curve of the top of a mushroom that is also its arm. Here's another curve, and then it's got its little mushroom feet are hanging on the pull-up bar, and he's going like, you see it? Okay. Like, I see a mushroom doing pull-ups here. I don't know what this is. It doesn't look comfortable. It looks like it costs a lot of money. It looks like it doesn't. It conforms to the shape of me instead of vice versa. It's not quite a joke. I think I would rather sit on the. I'd rather sit on the cube, to be honest. Now this is like cube, but you're like insanely wealthy. I would rather sit on the cube, though. It just seems more comfortable. It seems like at least you could lay down on this a little bit. You could lay your torso down on this, and your knees could be bent and your legs could be on the ground. This is like, you got to be fully focused. I also can't believe we're still doing tier lists, for the record, and especially still doing the chair tier list specifically. I thought then this happens every time. If you had asked me how long this chair tier list would take, I would say, in advance, I would say 20 minutes. And it's been almost 2 hours. Now, we've had some nice little detours along the way. The Anthony Bourdain part was a highlight for sure. I thank Chib for the assist on that one. The execution. So some people like that side quest, some people don't. I don't like this chair. I've never sat on it, but I don't like this chair. Because like my thighs are like not that long. I don't want a short thighed chair. Oh, you can't even see it. But this is like, if you're going to give me the option, I would rather transfer. I would like to turn this chair upside down and have this be the back and this be the legs. And maybe it's bimodal. Maybe that's something you can do with it. But just like this doesn't feel right to me. Like, this feels like if I sit on it the way I want to sit on it, my back will be like 4 inches from actually touching the back. That being said, it is a chair. So let's put it in worst chair tier instead of like psychotic tier. I've sat in these before. Sometimes you'll go to like an old museum or something like that, or a restaurant made in an old abandoned military base or something like that from the War of 1812. They'll have a chair like this you can sit in. They're not that comfortable. They look cool, but they are not that comfortable. Now, I haven't sat in all of them. I've sat in some of them. It's low to the ground. Look, it's for aesthetics. You know, they got great armrests, but the back goes up way higher than you need it to actually go back. You can't really push and pull them easily. I'd be inclined to throw this, honestly, down here in this tier as well. I would probably rather have the plastic stool, to be honest. I'd take it over the mushroom, take it over the long boy. I think I might rather sit in a beanbag than sit in this, though. This is another Herman Miller. I don't know which Herman Miller this is, which I think means I should place it next to this one. Like that's pretty close. Those they might not be identical chairs, but look at this. They're very close. I'm not going to be a snob. Okay, this doesn't look right. This seems like this is like you're bench pressing. I don't know what I'm looking at with this one. I'm going to give this a, I mean, it seems like you can sit in it at least. I'm going to give it a low E just because I'm very confused. At least it has a back. And then this one, this is like the chair that the dental hygienist sits in. How would I know? I'm not a dental hygienist. I have to assume that it works okay because like every single one of them is using it. It's good. Yeah, do we have any phlebotomists here? Oh, it's a blood drawing chair. Every time I had a lot of blood drawn last year because of the food poisoning stuff. I always sat down in a chair with no armrests, and then the nurse came in and she's like, "What hand are we gonna do?" And then I was like, "Oh, we'll do, or what arm?" And I'll be like, "Oh, you can put it in my right arm." And then she would like press a button and an armrest would like unfold, and then she would be like, "Okay, put your arm down like this." The technology's come a long way. Can I tell you, listen, while we're killing time here, I don't care what side you put the shot into. Unless you're giving me one of those ones that's like 12 needles in one plunger, doesn't matter to me. Because I always end up getting in these discussions. What handed are you? I'm like, oh, well, I'm left-handed. And they're like, well, should we do it in your right arm then? I'm like, well, my right arm's stronger. And then they're like, what the hell does that mean? And I'm like, you know what, just juice me up. I can deal with the, a little bit of a sore shoulder. What does that mean? I'm left-handed. Well, like, what does it mean to be handed? It's not your strongest hand. In short, it's the hand that you write with. I write with my left hand, but my right arm is stronger. It's a little unusual, yeah. And then in baseball, I throw and bat left. Hockey, I shoot left. But like a lot of people in hockey shoot left for whatever reason. Like there's not an even distribution of, or like a representative distribution of right-handers and left-handers in hockey. There's more left shooters, I think. How would you shoot a gun? I would steady the barrel I would steady the barrel with my right hand and pull the trigger with my left. And I would say, here's your special delivery, you piece of shit. And then the stock would probably hit me in the stomach and I'd be like, oh! I believe you, but my Tommy gun don't. I hold my fork in my left hand and cut with my right, which I believe is also the way that you do it if you have good manners, which is really just a happy accident, honestly. I snowboard right foot forward. I bowl with my right hand. That's the weird one. And my right hand it's stronger. I don't know how to describe it. It's not by much. I kick with my right foot. Yeah, I'm a little ambidextrous. But I'm not ambidextrous in that like both hands are equal. I'm ambidextrous in the sense that like you don't know which of my hands is good at doing stuff and which of my hands is shitty. Right-handed mouse, yeah, it's true. Please don't type FAP in my chat like this is the mid 2000s. You shouldn't be asking me about that kind of gross stuff to begin with, unless you're Justin. But you definitely should not be using that verbiage. I mean, that's way back in the. That's from a bygone time of internet culture. Anyway, I don't. How would I deign to know? This one. All I would say is that it seems to be working for them. For me, this looks like 3/4 of a good chair. So I'm gonna put it like in the D tier, but I don't know. Now this ornate rocking chair, worse than this rocking chair. I guess in the end, I prefer a smaller base rather than Santa's sleigh. It does look heavy as hell too. I mean, to be honest with you, this rocker I would sit on for sure. This one, I might rather just sit in a normal chair. Maybe I pop it here. This is the sexiest chair I've ever seen. Somebody tell me how much money this chair costs. I need one of these. It's like $5,000 to $15,000 USD. Oh no. For a damn chair? It's a famous chair? Yeah, I know I'm in an Aeron, but that's like, I mean, if it's 8K, that's like 5 Aerons stacked together. I could be running a startup. I guess you probably need to buy other stuff, but man, that's a nice looking chair. Holy cow. This is another rocking chair. I feel like if you're going to give me slats, I would rather have vertical slats than horizontal slats. But it definitely beats Santa's sleigh. So let's nestle it firmly in the D tier. This is another classic dining room chair. But I know that I said I'd rather have vertical than horizontal, but these are not vertical. These are like fractal. These ones, at least, there's like some normalcy. Like this was, it looks like it evolved on like an alien planet. This one at least is from Earth. So I would move it up a tier. Where's my other dining room chair? I just had it. Whatever. You're fine here. You're doing okay. This to me feels like someone tells you to buy a Herman Miller and then you're like, that's too expensive. So you go to Staples and you just buy one that looks like a Herman Miller and it's probably fine, but it's not the same, okay? It does the job. Your back's probably not going to get fucked up, but like, deep down when you sit on it, you're like, What is this? Is this a sensory deprivation pod? I genuinely don't understand how you sit on this. I don't even know what it is. It kind of looks like a shoe. It's got buckles on it. It's a jet plane ejector seat. I mean, I would say I would want one if I was in a jet, I suppose. But, I mean, it's a joke, dude. Another stool. I mean, I'm team circle stool over team square stool. But I'm also team short stool over team tall stool. So I think that square short beats circle tall. Okay, it's not worth... Well, I don't know. It's like pretty close to as bad as the electric chair. I know it sounds crazy. I feel like I would rather sit on the Lego chair. Because at least if I'm sitting on the Lego chair, I'm probably not in a fighter jet right now. If I'm in a fighter jet, this would probably be my chair of choice, unless I could maybe get this one. And then if we landed, I know I'm taking a gamble, but I meant this one. If we landed, then I'd be like, let's go, free chair. My head when I eject from my home flight sim setup, my My head when I hit the big red button on my home flight sim setup, and then it would just. Is there like a meme image of a guy with an incredibly flat top of the head? It could just be Herman Munster or something, or Frankenstein. My skull when I hit the eject button on my homemade flight sim rig. You could do something with that. This is a joke. This is heinous. I would give this. I mean, it's borderline a functional chair, but I wouldn't say it quite gets there. Now, what the hell is this? This is bubble tape? Did you pass the chair? I mean, it looks a lot like this thing, but this is like a little too al dente, and this is cooked to taste. But I think I would rather sit on the fruit roll up than on the raffle tickets. This is a barbecue cover. Like, but actually, what is this? How would you know? I've got one. We went to Canadian Tire and bought one. Again, that's where it blew my mind. I couldn't believe, after buying things online for so long, that I could literally just walk into a store and they're like, "What barbecue do you have?" And I'm like, "Here's the model number." They're like, "Oh yeah, we got those in aisle 8. Really? Just in case someone happened to own the barbecue but no cover? I'm glad you got it, but like, I'm like, how long has that thing been sitting on a shelf just waiting for me to walk in? It's crazy. Anyway, I don't understand what this is. I like, is this a cover or is this a chair? It's a net chair. Looks like shit, in my opinion. I'm going to, it is at the end of the day, it looks like it is sittable, but I would rather sit on the bubble tape, I think. I think I'd rather sit on the raffle tickets. I think I'd rather sit on the bean. These are like, I basically can't sit on these. Just give me a second here. This one is a sawhorse. These things suck. You've seen these in your life? I don't know how to describe this. Like, is this? It's the chair, and then the seat is like a towel that's draped around it and joined. Towel's not the right word, but I don't know what else to say. Like a tapestry. Listen, there's some we can do easy, okay? This is a joke. This is an art piece. I would rather sit on the Lego seat, but I don't really want to get in the ejector seat. This seems dangerous. This is just another classic dining room table Andy. It's the wooden version of this bad boy, but it's got a little deeper. So you know what? I would elevate it slightly further. I can't put it past the rocker. The rocker should be up there. Put it right there. This thing, it just looks like a simple chair. I would think sitting down here, I think I would be coming back to a restaurant for a nice meal and then leaving, but not feeling at any time like I was in danger. I would feel like this is a nice. They want me to stay, but they don't want me to stay for too long. And that to me seems like an acceptable. I mean, I'd much rather have it than metal stool. Let's pop it right there. I don't need shoulder support. You need shoulder support for in a chair. You got a knife and fork in your hands. Your body's supporting your shoulders. I'm just letting gravity like have its way. This I don't understand. I'm going to give it an E, and I'm going to put it high E. Now, I feel like the gamer chair is like, I don't think this is contentious. I sat in one for a few years, and it was totally fine, but there was like no benefit to it whatsoever. It's not worse than the electric chair. But it was like worse than an office chair. Yeah, like I think it's probably worse than the Staples chair, the Office Depot chair. Also, no streamer in history has ever used the head pillow, because when you buy this chair, you're playing competitive games, so you're leaning forward the whole time. If you ever need to buy a used pillow, if you find yourself in that place in your life, try to buy one off of a retired streamer. I use it. It's not like it. I'm not saying it's a bad chair. I'm just saying like I don't really feel like it's that valuable. I had a DX Racer, and when I sat in it, I was like, oh, this is like, it's comfortable, but it's not like I don't know. It's I think it'd be cooler. Maybe this is not apt at all. I think it would be cooler if it was set up like a real race car chair instead of like a race car chair that's cushioned. Like if that shit was made of like hard metal and you had to strap yourself into it, then I'd be like, oh shit, it's time to game. Yep, that's a B. Yep, we roll on Cupcake. Okay, good, we got a crow. We're going to buy, sell, freeze the chocolate. Okay, let's launch this round. I would be like, we're ready to go. But this is just like a, I don't know, I just, at my age, I think I would just feel like a dweeb. This chair would make me feel bad to sit in it at this point in my life. I'd be like, I got a kid. I'm like silver in Rocket League. I'm sitting down in my gaming chair to do a stream. Like, that's not me. I'm gonna put it in the mid D tier. Okay, and there you go. You have your list. It's hard to get it all in. It's hard to take it all in. There you go. Take a screenshot, post it on Twitter. You could just lie. You could just take a screenshot of this, post it on Twitter, and say, hey, I finished my chair tier list. Any thoughts? And enjoy the free engagement. Hey, Vesquazi, thanks for the gifted subscriptions. Thank you. Now, it's crazy to me. I've been at Tier Maker for 4 hours. / marker chairs.